This is the story of Malik, a young man who discovered a powerful secret about money. He learned that money could either build him up or break him down, all depending on how he used it. His journey started in a place many of us know all too well, a moment of painful contrast. One morning, Malik opened his refrigerator, hoping to find something for breakfast. Inside, there was nothing but cold air and a single, forgotten lemon. The emptiness echoed the feeling in his stomach. But then, he turned and looked at his closet. It was overflowing. Hangers were packed tight with designer jackets. Limited edition sneakers lined the floor, and expensive brand names screamed for attention. He shook his head in disbelief, a single question forming in his mind. How do I look so rich, but feel so incredibly broke? This question haunted him. He was living a paradox, projecting an image of wealth while his reality was one of scarcity. He had the appearance of success, but none of the substance. Confused and frustrated, he decided to visit his older cousin, Aisha. Aisha wasn't just family. She was a sharp, successful businesswoman who had built her empire from the ground up. She always seemed to have the answers, and Malik was desperate for one. He sat across from her, explaining his situation. Aisha listened patiently, her expression unreadable. When he finished, she leaned forward, her eyes locking onto his. "Malik," she said, her voice firm but kind. "You're treating money like it's something to show off, not something to grow. It's a performance for you, not a foundation." She then did something that hit him hard. She started listing his recent purchases from memory. That $500 jacket, the $1,000 sneakers you wore once, that watch you can't even tell time on because you're always on your phone. Each item was a verbal jab, a reminder of his poor choices. When she was done, she paused and asked a simple, yet devastating question. "Now, Malik, show me one thing you've bought that actually makes you money." Malik opened his mouth to respond, ready to defend his lifestyle. But nothing came out. He searched his mind, scrambling for an example, an investment, anything. But there was nothing. His entire financial life had been about consumption, not creation. The silence in the room was louder than any lecture. In that moment, he realized Aisha was right. He was building a life of appearances, and the foundation was cracking. Seeing the realization dawn on his face, Aisha's tone softened. She knew this was the moment for a real lesson. "It's okay," she said. "Most people make this mistake, but you can change it. You just need the right tools." This is when she introduced him to what she called the 4 money tools, her rule of transformation. First, she explained, are learning tools. This means courses, books, seminars, and mentors. Anything that expands your knowledge and skills. Your brain is your biggest asset, and you need to invest in it. Second, you have creation tools. This is your laptop, your phone, a good camera, or a microphone. These are the instruments that allow you to produce value for others. You stop just consuming content and start creating it. You stop buying products and start building them. Third, she continued, are investment tools. This is where your money starts working for you. Think stocks, savings accounts, digital assets, or even a small business venture. These tools don't just sit there, they grow, they multiply. And finally, she concluded, you have growth tools. These are things that make you more efficient and scalable. Software, productivity apps, automation systems, even templates. They leverage your time and effort, so you can achieve more with less. Aisha leaned back, letting her words sink in. Money is just a tool, Malik. Like a hammer or a saw. Every dollar you spend is either building your future or tearing it down. You've been using your tools to build a flashy, hollow facade. It's time to start building something real, something that will last. That conversation was a lightning strike to Malik's soul. He went home a different person. The next day, he took action. He went through his extravagant wardrobe and began selling off most of it. The designer clothes, the barely worn sneakers, the flashy accessories, they all went online. It was painful at first, letting go of the items that had defined his identity. But with every sale, he felt lighter, freer. He took the money he earned, not to a shopping mall, but to a digital marketplace of opportunities. He enrolled in a high-demand online course on digital marketing. He invested in a quality microphone and a subscription to a suite of powerful AI tools to help him create content more efficiently. He bought a simple, sturdy work table, creating a dedicated space for his new mission. He opened his first real savings account and put a portion of his funds into a skills development program. His life transformed. Mornings were no longer about staring into an empty fridge. They were about studying, learning, and applying new knowledge. Evenings were no longer about scrolling through things he couldn't afford. They were about creating content, building a freelance portfolio, and reaching out to potential clients. The work was hard, and the progress was slow at first. There were moments of doubt. But he remembered Aisha's words, "You are building." And slowly but surely, the foundation began to solidify. He landed his first small project, earning $150. It felt more rewarding than any $1,000 pair of shoes he had ever owned. Then came another project for $250. Soon, he was consistently earning $500 per project, and his client list was growing. Malik finally understood. He looked around his small workspace, at his books, his microphone, his laptop. These were his real treasures. He realized you can't build a future with fancy outfits. You build it with skills, with knowledge, with the right tools, and with unwavering discipline. He learned the most important lesson of all. Money spent to impress other people vanishes into thin air, leaving you with nothing. But money invested to improve yourself, to build your capabilities, that money multiplies. It comes back to you, bigger and better than before. Money is a tool. And after a long and difficult journey, Malik had finally learned how to build. If Malik's story resonates with you, maybe it's time to look at your own toolbox. What are you building? Thank you for watching. And if this story helped you, please consider liking and subscribing for more content that helps you build the life you deserve.